And welcome to another fun session of The Cabinet. I am your player 1, Jeremy, and this is my player 2,
Jaron.
And if you haven't watched our first episode, we talked about Ninja Batman, the arcade game. That was like hella fun, if hella's still a cool word.
Yeah, it was a bit of an LSD trip.
Right. So this one we're going a little bit superhero, kind of classic. Captain America and the Avengers. This was at a time for me where superheroes weren't that big to me yet growing up. And so I had a buddy that played this on Super Nintendo. And I played it, and I liked it mainly because it was just a beat 'em up. I didn't really know anything about Captain America or any of these people and everything like that. But did you originally play this on Super Nintendo first, or did you play the arcade game first?
I played the arcade game, and then I actually played the Super Nintendo by accident. The real fun was in the Sega Genesis version.
What was the difference?
I believe it was 2 players. That it was more arcade faithful.
Okay.
On the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
The graphics looked better.
Did it not, like the Team Ninja games, sometimes like certain levels get cut, or some of them just didn't make it on one side of the other game, you know what I mean? Kind of like the Latin, the Disney thing, certain things that the other game had, the other one did. Did they both have evenly the same stuff that you remember?
Oh, man, you made me search way back. I do remember the Sega Genesis version was more arcade faithful, so I believe it had all the levels, or at least most of them.
Okay.
Super Nintendo, it was like a different game to me.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why I always went towards a Genesis.
So this is actually, I think this was a joint pick or your pick, but why do we decided to pick this one?
Well, aside from we got some Avengers love coming out in April, you know, we got Captain Marvel next month. It just seemed like, a fun. You would think we would go towards X-Men, but no, a lot of people really don't mess with Captain America and the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So, Data East, you see Data East, you don't really think beat 'em up.
No, not at all. They are kind of obsolete, aren't they?
Well, I mean, they're kind of re-releasing stuff. Like, they did the Joe and Max stuff. They re-released it for collectors, like last year or the year before. But, yeah, Data East, No, okay. Konami's still going.
Well, let's go ahead and start saving the world right now. So, let's go ahead and put our credits in here. Oh, let's work together on this. We're building this up.
Yeah.
I always tell myself, we should quit this game if we end up losing 99 credits. You know what I mean? Like, after 99 credits, like, okay, we're going to cancel this episode or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's going to go on the blooper reel.
Right. So let's go ahead and pick our characters. So, I think I'm going to hit the captain.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling the captain on this one. He's starting to become one of my favorites now that the movies came out and all that stuff.
Really?
I think it's because of Chris Evans. I think he's the one that did it.
He knows that. He definitely knew how to take that role much better than the Human Torch.
So the villain in this one is basically like a group of villains together, like kind of like the
Masters of Evil.
Yeah. So we got Red Skull here.
Yeah.
He was barely like anything in the first Captain America movie. Like he was there, but like he didn't leave a mark to me because they went into the future with the character.
That's when they still had their villain problem in the Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, yeah, villain. Oh, bam, 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 and he's gone.
Right.
So and the thing is, in the comics, Red Skull was so diabolical.
Right.
So yeah, I forgot Vision can just throw out laser beams.
Right. And so let's talk about some of these characters here. So everybody knows Captain America, he's kind of the ones that got started, But one character that's different from all this is the other two actually is Vision and I'll get my butt whooped. You're just picking on me. Okay.
He's the captain.
No, right? Is Vision and Hawkeye, right? So Vision, I didn't know anything about Vision. People pick Vision because like he has a good distance shooter. He got the laser eyes and everything like that. While we had to be up closer and stuff like that. But I didn't know anything about him until the movies. Did you know Vision pretty well in the Marvel universe?
Yeah, I actually. So my dad was a Marvel Comics guy. He did the Avengers. I was mostly X-Men. And I knew Vision from this and from later Avengers. I didn't even know he was like actually red, green, and some stuff like that early on. That was original costume.
I think a rock just exploded.
You gotta watch out.
I could throw a rock and then it'll explode. Yeah, that's an exploding rock. Okay, just making sure I got that right. Okay, anyways.
Maybe that's TNT.
Yeah, and then Hawkeye, Didn't hear him until the movies. But I saw him in the games. I thought, oh, he's just an archer.
Yeah, it's like, what is his power? It's like,
right.
Oh, he's really good. I'm trying to remember. There's some comedians who say, yeah, it's like being the best with a jump roper. Right. I mean, if you ever get a chance, Matt Fraction did a good run on Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. Made him seem like more than just a guy with a bow and arrow.
So, this particular arcade game compared to like the X-Men arcade game, which we have that in our lineup to play later. Did you prefer this over the X-Men ones to you?
For different reasons. Like if we're going sheer beat 'em up mechanics, this has the edge, and only because the X-Men using your powers costs life.
Okay.
This does not, I believe. Okay. Yeah, I could just zap them, and I'm not losing life.
Yeah.
But
he's a bully.
Down. Yeah, anemic vision's down. Let's try that again.
Oh crap!
But I don't know. It's like this came out in 91. Mm-hmm. X-Men was 92. So and if you look at the graphics, it's night and day. Oh! You can hit him while he's in his whirlwind form.
I figured that out apparently.
Yeah.
Boom! Oh, I thought I got that last hit in. Crap. Get him. Oh, crap.
There we go.
And some of these villains I never even heard of, like Whirlwind. Never heard of this guy.
That's the thing the Avengers really didn't... They had some weird villains. I don't know if the villains were weirder in the 70s and 80s or if they got weirder in the 90s, but they were like really just... Batroc, which he was in Captain America Winter Soldier, mm-hmm. Whirlwind, which that was the Grim Reaper, the Living Laser, all these guys. Mm-hmm. I'll go full Marvel nerd and get me having
right.
There was just a lot of weird villains that didn't leave a mark on you.
So when it comes to like Marvel heroes and villains, what side do you normally like to lean on? Are you more of the villain side of characters, or are you more of the hero side?
It depends. Like I like villains that have a good reason for being bad.
Okay.
Dr. Doom. So. Forgiving the whole fiasco with Fox's depiction, Dr. Doom was actually a pretty good villain. He was actually, he legitimately believed himself to be smarter than Reed Richards, and okay, go. He was smarter, and he actually cared for his country of Latveria. Granted, he ruled it like an a-hole, but he cared, and Latveria was safe. He clashed because of ego. His thing is ego.
Okay.
So I can respect a villain like that.
Mm-hmm. Crap. It's almost like a shoot 'em up game right now.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. This breaks up the whole side scroller. Mm-hmm. One thing it has in common with X-Men, the horrible localization, the lines. Get ready, go!
Oh, yeah.
It's no Master of Magnet, but it's up there.
So, I'm guessing, what city do you think we're in? Because, I'm seeing these, I think we're in New York. I think I just saw Coney Island.
That would make sense. When this came out, they were doing the whole East Coast, West Coast Avengers thing, but this definitely looks like New York.
Have you ever been to New York?
Only on business, never got to have fun. I got to visit the Nintendo World Store, and that was it. Oh, okay. If I use this, I can both buttons. The Wasp will just.
Oh, okay. That's cool. And that's the Wasp from Ant-Man, right?
Yes. Okay. In this one, it's the Janet Van Dyne.
Okay.
So, yeah. I actually like what they did in Ant-Man and the Wasp and Ant-Man. Mm-hmm. Now this I never did understand. The Sentinel.
Those from X-Men?
Yeah, giant robot. That's his name. Giant robot.
You know what you are.
Yeah, it's like, don't try and play me. Giant robot.
Oh no. Get off of me.
It's almost as bad as that enemy from the last game. Mm-hmm. It was like generic villain.
Right. Dude, how many freaking hands does this guy got? No, go. I saw 3 at one point. I'm not tripping.
He just shoots a fist out of his chest.
Mm-hmm. I love when the developers end up putting their names and stuff. Like Delta Easter's right there.
Yeah,
like there's their store.
Well, I mean, yeah, wouldn't you want?
No. I ain't hating.
Yeah,
I ain't hating. I put my name somewhere. Heck, I put one of my enemies' names in here. Jeremy 1, Jeremy 2 on here or something.
I mean, yeah, it's gotta love the little Easter. Oh, come on now, come on. Oh, nope, you can't hold the vision. You can't hold the vision. In fact,
I'd be solely disappointed if I wasn't able to grab a character and throw him.
Yeah, it's like that's part of what Captain America does.
He's
throwing people around.
So okay, compared to you and me, I know that you're way more like Marvel knowledgeable than I am, of course.
80s, 90s, yeah. These days, not so much.
Okay,
yeah, I can give you a brief history.
Okay,
lesson.
so let's go ahead and get to the part we're going to talk about is the movies. So first of all, are you satisfied with the movies have gone so far for the Marvel? Are you satisfied like now, not from like the 90s, but like the 10 years that Marvel's been doing in this building this universe?
Right, the MCU. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I am an 8 to a 9.
Okay.
And it's only getting marks off 8 or as an 8 because they don't integrate with Netflix or ABC that much.
Okay. Yeah.
But
that's DC's realm.
Yeah, they don't work together.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like the execution, I'll fully admit I marked out at the Avengers. I was like, oh, and dancing in my seat and everything. I was a full nerd.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the same for Ant-Man and the Wasp and friggin' Iron Man. I enjoyed Iron Man 1, not so much 2.
Really? Okay.
2 was okay. It was okay. It was acceptable.
Okay.
But you set a bar with Iron Man 1. You can't just,
I thought it was better than 1, but
ooh.
But now hang on. Let's go ahead. Overall, I also give it an 8-2. I thought it's pretty good, but I am a little burned out by Marvel. I think it's
really.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been going on every year, and it just burns me out. I already told myself after the Endgame, I'm taking a huge break from the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
It's kind of like almost like Star Wars. Like, too much Star Wars, I'm going to get burned out eventually.
Fair enough. I mean, whenever I hear people, saying the fatigue and everything like that, it's like, okay, I can respect that, but they're still good movies. I'm not going to get tired of them if they're good movies.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like that you're telling me, like, you wouldn't get as sick of, like, Star Wars if they're good? You're telling me over and over again, every year, a spinoff and here and there, you know what I mean?
If they had a story... Now, the spinoffs, yeah, that'll wear me out. I'm sorry, but we didn't need Solo. We're just carrying them around with us.
Oh, is this yours?
It's like, oh, here you go.
I guess, too, because DC is doing it, too, that kind of is burning out even more. So it's like a war of the who's going to win this comic war, which,
and we got the rest of Fox's stuff that, they're emptying their stuff
Yeah,
out.
and in Netflix, I think they're officially done because they just canceled, Punisher and Jessica Jones. So now that whole thing is done.
Yeah, and I don't know if you read the letter from Jeff Loeb. He all but said, "Yeah, we're not done. I mean, we'll bring them back some way or the other," which makes sense. Now, Namor, that's who they need to work on bringing into the MCU. That would be awesome.
Okay, all right, add that to the list. So let's go ahead and get into our top 3 with an honorable mention.
All right.
We'll take turns. I think did we rank them?
I mean, we can.
Okay, all right. So who do you have number 3 on your list of your favorite Marvel movie?
Existing Marvel movie.
Yes, and this list is based on what you have seen. Now, I haven't seen any of the new Spider-Man movies, so they're not on my list.
Avengers is going to be my number 1.
Okay, number 1. Okay.
The original Avengers. It just...
The first one, not the Age of Ultron, not the part 1 of this. The first one.
Infinity War is close, but it's like that's not fair. The Avengers on its pure merit of the experiment.
Okay.
The experiment of an MCU. That's number 1.
Okay.
What about you?
Okay, number 1 for me. I'm gonna put Deadpool 2 on this one.
Really?
Yeah. Deadpool 2 was just really funny. It was different, and I just had a good time with that one. I like Avengers a lot too, but I can't tell you which one I like the best, only because... God, would you let me go? What, you don't like my pick? You don't like my pick? You don't like my pick.
He's got 8 arms to hold you.
Right. No, I just think it was just something new, So I kind of just like that. And so Ryan Reynolds, I think the whole cast did a good job. Only reason too, and the cop out is Cable's one of my favorite characters, like of all time, one of them. So like he's in it now, so that's like makes me satisfied.
Yeah, they actually executed him pretty well.
Yes, they did a really good job, and hopefully maybe that will lead on to something else in the future.
Maybe.
I know he's probably going to be in the third one. He's part of Deadpool's world now.
Yeah, and Marvel's claimed that they will, bring them into the MCU.
Yeah, and let them do their thing. Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, it's like it's easy to say these things.
Right. So number 2, what you got for number 2?
Oh man, so this was difficult, but I'm gonna have to go with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
Now, I almost said Ant-Man, but I like that they actually, the dynamic between Ant-Man and the Wasp, the fact that it shows that Marvel can do humor. They can do a heist movie that happens to have superheroes.
Right.
Oh, the Mandarin. Mandarin. Yeah.
Fun fact, Iron Man 3 is my least favorite out of the trilogy. Go. Just throwing that out there.
Actually, speaking of Iron Man, let me go ahead and drop him in here. Well, here's the thing. Iron Man 3 could have been better. It's like
almost fighting Shredder at the end of the second one.
Right?
Yeah,
the helmet's not helping.
Right?
So, I understand why they did 3 like they did, but I feel it has suffered from the curse of a lot of superhero trilogies.
Right.
Too many villains, and not paying enough source material, respect to source material. The Mandarin, it would be problematic these days because he's supposed to be the epitome of historical Asian culture, and you can't just say, "I'm the Mandarin,"
Right?
You can't have somebody like that. But they hinted, the fact they hinted that there is still a Mandarin out there, that was actually kind of cool.
Right.
So I don't know, but yes, I agree that Iron Man 3 could have been better.
Okay.
But
okay. Number 2 for me, I'm gonna go with Black Panther.
Okay.
And honestly, to tell you the truth, I thought that was a really good, well filmed. It's awesome that we had a all black cast. That's great and all, but like I don't really care as long as the movie is good. So like they did a good job. The pacing was good. The comedy was really funny.
Yeah, it didn't feel shoehorned in.
But the villain, Killmonger, really sold it to me. And that's the reason that carried that movie for me.
Yes.
Because he was so determined on it. Even, spoiler, even at the end, he was not going down. He's like, no, I'd rather die than be part of this.
Yeah.
And it gave Black Panther a different look of, you're not on this high chair as you think you are.
Exactly. The best villains are the ones that kind of make sense. Like, you sit and it's like, well, if they didn't do it that way, I would be with them. They kind of make a good point.
Right. So now we're in space? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're just going everywhere.
Yeah,
okay.
That's how the Avengers rolled.
Man, we just do it all.
Yeah, it's like space. No
right.
problem.
Yeah. What's your third one, buddy?
Oh, third one. Man, I would have to say Black Panther's going to be number 3.
Okay.
And I did like the way they wrote it. Also, I like Angela Bassett. I'm a sucker for Angela Bassett. She's the Storm that should have been. But aside from the CGI, the rhinos really just killed it for me. I mean, it killed the move for me.
Right.
I liked the way it was written. I liked the way the villain had reason for his actions. And it was a movie. It was good regardless of who the cast was. But looking at it from another way, the representation.
Juggernaut, what are you doing here?
Right? That's not even Juggernaut.
God, you are small, buddy.
That is not Juggernaut.
Oh my God.
And he's got one eye.
Oh my God. That's the smallest helmet I ever seen.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Oh my God.
Sorry
to break it to you, buddy, but you're an imposter.
This got to be a scroll.
Hawkeye, do something for me. Anyways, okay, so
energy blast.
So overall, they just did a really good production job.
Yeah, and the writing. And fun fact, that line that you mentioned at the end is like, I'd rather die, be held in. I'd rather like my ancestors who jumped overboard.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler wanted that to be in there. He was surprised they let him keep it in there, and they said, no, you have to write like the movie around this.
Right.
So that I just like that they took chances, that the studio took chances, and this is what you get when you take chances. You actually let your artists be an artist.
Right.
and and I know there are other movies with like primary black cast. You got your Blade and everything like that, but the representation these days, you're not going to see kids dressing up like Blade and using his lines. You're going to see kids dressing up like Shuri.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna find some way to bring Blade back, but I think I don't know if they're gonna be R, but we'll find out.
I think Marvel would be served by doing MCU R movies.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it like what was the imprint Max, the Marvel Max imprint. What they did for adults.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the laser?
I got a wrench, buddy. So take that. So take that.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Ultron just the smartest ass police.
Right.
It's like okay.
Ultron, please, Ultron. Anyways, okay. So so number 3 for me. I'm going to pick Thor Ragnarok only because Ragnarok redeemed himself after the other two.
Yeah.
Because I think Thor overall, even with the Thor one being good, overall I think Thor had the worst trilogy.
Okay, yeah. It did have the most inconsistent. I liked 1. Could pass on 2.
Yeah, but Thor Ragnarok hit 80s. They were just having fun with it. Thor had a bigger part because Thor was not going to get his own movie anytime soon again. And so this one, I think it felt like it knocked out the park. I think the problem was they were taking Thor way too seriously, too much.
Yeah.
For a character that in the Avengers movie he was kind of jokey. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like fish out of water kind of thing.
Yeah, and just the cast was really good. I forgot the actor that played in Jurassic Park and all that stuff. That guy.
Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum was good into it. The girl in it was really good. I forgot what's her name in it. Sorry for the
Tessa
people.
Thompson.
Yeah, see, that's why you're my Marvel guy.
So, don't worry about it. Yeah,
right.
Because they're in a movie. They're in the new Men in Black movie together.
Yeah, there you go.
Tessa Thompson.
There you go. So yeah, they all did a great job.
Oh yeah, you know what? Thor Ragnarok. That's going to be my honorable mention.
Okay.
So I'm just going to steal that.
Okay, cool. So my honorable mention is a guilty pleasure only because, and people are going to probably disagree with me, but I think it's my favorite one out of the renditions they try to do that, and that's Punisher Warzone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was funny. I think that it was over the top, and I thought it was bloody, and I thought that's the Avenger I want. He's straight revenge. I want him doing the revenge. Now, Jigsaw was the weakest link to me, but the action was really good. There were some really golden moments, especially in the kitchen where they were having mid-conversation and he just blows this guy's face off right in the thing. Thought that was hilarious. And then the cop was like, Frank! He was just like, what's wrong with you, man? You're nuts! And so I thought that was just a guilty pleasure of mine because I just thought Ray... I forgot the actor's name. I think it's Ray something, but I think he was he's my favorite Punisher, and I wish they would use him into the Avenger universe.
Well, okay, so full disclosure, I have not seen Punisher Warzone yet.
Okay.
That is on my to watch list.
Okay.
But I've heard good things about it. I heard it was better than the other Punisher, the
one
with John Travolta.
Okay. Yeah.
So I definitely have to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I like John Bernthal's Netflix Punisher.
I do too. But they try to separate the movie world to the television show, so you know.
You get a half-hearted mention. It's like, oh, blah, 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 I don't have a magic hammer. It's like, okay, yeah.
Well, I guess because, the DC, you have a Flash that everybody likes, but then you don't get the movie Flash from the television show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they could easily explain that away with Flashpoint.
Right.
Say, yeah, they both exist. They both acknowledge Flashpoint now. Stop crying, fans.
Right. So, yeah, those are mine. But now, there's plenty more libraries of heroes that can come in or characters that can be into the and turn to their own movies. So
many.
But we had to break it down. Got a wrench. I'm gonna handle this. All right, got it. Throw the other one. All right. Oh, almost got there. Yeah. But so we decided to break it down to 3 with honorable mention. So I'll go first on mine. The first one I picked for my list is I think this character. Now the movies to me, X-Men is a weird movie series to me. Sometimes they're a little hit and miss with me. We die at the same time. That's how you reunite. That's cool. All right. But regardless, I think this character would be great, but the problem is they kind of messed up the story a little bit, but I think you can still pull it off. I think a Bishop movie would be really good.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you throw the Terminator flavor on it. Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason why is because they can use the whole, like, he's in the future, and then you could bring Black Panther and Storm in because they were in a relationship, and then maybe Bishop is how he got born from those two. So I thought that'd be kind of a cool little clash to bring the universe together like that. He's from the future. Now, the only bad part is, like, they ruined it because the apocalypse already came, but that would have been a cool build-up for the apocalypse to come. Or something like that.
Yeah, no.
But his origin story is really good. I read the comics, and I actually like the trilogy story of it and everything like that. So,
yeah, I could see that. Especially, you wouldn't even have to rely on the time travel bit. You could just make it completely in the future.
Yeah.
And considering how they, ouch. I never saw that.
Right? They're both named Controls. Really?
Yes,
really?
Yes.
Are we gonna? God, these names are terrible.
Controller.
Got another wrench. All right.
And that's why nobody ever remembered Avengers villains.
Right.
No, I could see that. I could see that.
Okay.
Mine would be, and so we all know, most people think everything in the MCU is for kids. Not necessarily, but kids go see it. So what if Disney, being Disney and owning Marvel, they just went lean full in and did a movie, and kids could go see it, but it could still have that charm, kind of like a Toy Story, Incredibles type thing. Mm-hmm. Power Pack. So they're basically, I think, four or five kids. No, I think 4 kids, and they all have these different powers, and they get it from space, something through an experiment or something from space. And the thing is, they can swap the powers with each other.
Okay.
And it's like stuff like flight, strength. They can shoot light beams and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Crossbone.
Yeah. And I think it would be cool. You could have, it's basically kids. You can cast one of the kids from Stranger Things.
Okay.
Stuff like that. It could still fit into the Marvel universe.
It's almost you would get the same people that did Big Hero 6 to do it.
Yeah.
Because weren't they based off a group of Marvel people, but they had to change the name because they didn't get the copyrights from Fox, right?
Yeah. And now that doesn't matter now.
Right. Because Silver Samurai was in it.
Yeah, and that's another thing that. Don't get me started with Silver Samurai. But yeah, Power Pack. That could even be a good way to backdoor introduce the X-Men, because the Power Pack, they mess around with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Okay. So it's a cool little kids movie, and I think it would be fun. It would be something they could do something different. It could be the I struggle to think of a comparable kids movie. Oh, crap.
These bombs are ridiculous.
But it could almost be like Babysitters or Kids Home Alone, but with superheroes.
The Adventure of Babysitting.
Yeah, or that. It could be like, Home Alone, Adventures in Babysitting, but with superheroes and powers. And, the kids, and they take their childish views on how they should administer justice. I would see it.
What is with these wrenches?
Hey, it takes a lot of tools to build this layer.
Right?
They're villains. They're not going to be organized. It's like,
I feel sorry for people that had to work and build a thing and then they just get killed off.
It's like,
we're done, boss.
Great work. You did great work. I'd hate for you to, share this with anybody.
Is this yours? Is this yours? Okay, so for me, my next on the list is Logan was a pretty good film. Another one, actually, to tell you the truth, that one has the worst between that and Thor, if you really think about it. Like, X-Men Origin was pretty bad. And then the Wolverine was okay. But Logan's save was a saving grace. At least, Thor's production and stuff was good. It's just some of the stories were, but
he didn't use his library that well either.
Yeah, I think just Wolverine just got misdirection, and it was just bad decisions and stuff like that. Oh, you're such a dick, Skull.
You stupid men.
Right? Oh, this is what I think of your skull. Oh, mech skull. Anyways, so I think they can continue with Logan with a X-23 movie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I would like to see an X-23 movie with that, not with the girl grown up a little bit more of. We kind of maybe see a coming of age film, but like age 21, 22 is where like the story really begins for her and stuff like that.
Yeah, it would be an interesting. So I agree with you. I think they should do it under a to prevent the timeline getting all weird and polluted. They should do like like Ultimate Comics, like Marvel did Ultimate Comics. Do it like that. You know, it's like, hey, this is an alternate, you know, or Elseworlds, like DC does Elseworlds. That way you can get all really weird.
Yeah, you're gonna talk to Fox about that.
Yeah, well, not too much anymore.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true. But
yeah,
okay.
I would like to see that.
Okay.
Something I wouldn't mind. Oh wow, I keep getting torn up in these twisters. Come on,
right?
Come on now. Something I wouldn't mind trying to see make it to theaters would be a Marvel version of Suicide Squad, but you know, done better.
Yeah.
And that would be either the Masters of Evil, because you could take all sorts of villains nobody's ever heard of and just mash them together and rely on their personality.
Well, you don't want a Sinister Six?
It's built up too much, man. That's built up too much. Everybody's been talking about Sinister Six for like 8 years. And no, I'm sorry, Sony, I don't trust Sony to do it right. They got lucky with Spider-Man because they let Marvel just take it.
Right.
No, and we all saw.
I heard
Venom
Into the
did.
Spider-Verse was pretty good.
I still have not seen it yet.
Okay.
I've got friends that have been yelling at me every time.
Me too.
And yeah, I'll just have to catch it once it's out digital.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd like to see a Masters of Evil. You could have the Wizard. You could have the Living Laser. You could have Baron. You know, Baron von whomever, and you know, and they're putting together their stuff, and you can even tie it into the larger MCU. You know, they have their movie, and then they actually launch their plot, and then bam, that leads into a superhero movie. So
this game was really short.
Yes,
it was a very, very short game and everything like that, because we were going to get on. We had this list and we were going to go by, and we're like, oh wow, time flew by really fast when we talked about this stuff.
Just smacked Red Skull around.
So let's go ahead. We'll do. Let's go ahead and finish up the list real quick. So
all right.
So here, let's go with our third pick. I picked Moon Knight.
Of course, Marvel's Batman.
Yeah, I think. Well, people have been talking about Moon Knight. There's a fan video of it right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either. I just heard about it, so I might go check that out and just see what it is. But I think Moon Knight can be, you know, one of those like one and done if they want to.
Yeah, no.
You know, you got your Deadpool. Maybe they can have their Batman, Moon Knight, and it could be its own thing. It doesn't need to be with the universe if they don't want to. You know.
Well, yeah, no, I actually wouldn't mind checking out a Moon Knight. I mean, he is pretty much Batman, Marvel's Batman. He was a good Avenger too. He was a pretty decent Avenger. Something I would like to see, and this is kind of out there. This is kind of going to be, you know, maybe not controversial, just a big and that's going to be. So, did you follow any of the new X-Men in the early 2000s?
No, like I was very. I'm a noob to this. Like shows and movies, comics. I read a little bit.
No, it's good. That means you get to see it with new eyes. I envy you.
Yeah.
No, okay. So there was a character named Herman.
Okay.
And he was basically take ballistics gel or a skeleton, but surrounded by this gelatin, and he could just throw it or anything like that. And if it caught on fire, it acted like it was napalm. I wouldn't even consider, like, you wouldn't even have to tie it into any of the MCU. It could just be like a Toxic Avenger one-off, let's just get silly movie.
Okay.
But I would like to see that. That would just be a out of left field WTF type of movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You'll have to send me a picture so I can kind of get more of a better visual of that.
And I may be messing up his name because they introduced a whole bunch of new mutants and stories, but I think Herman was it. Yeah, I think Herman was it, but I'm sure, you know, people might hesitate to correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, that's what I would like to see.
So before we get to the villains, let's talk about how we felt about the Avenger game. I know, like, it looked like we weren't paying attention, but we were. So, like, this game is a lot shorter than I remember. I think because on Super Nintendo, you had 2 people only you could fight with, and the levels felt a little bit longer than the second one to me.
Maybe have infinite continuous.
That's true too. That's the thing too about it, because the infinite ones. But like, it's funny because Ninja Batman was a long game for that, and so
it was paced well though.
Right. Here, I mean,
Quicksilver delivered pizza.
I forgot Quicksilver was in there for a second. Wonder Man, all these stuff. It would have been cool to see these characters available, like It'd been cool if you beat it and then these characters unlocked and you get to go through them. That would have been really cool.
You know what? Why not Quicksilver? Why not Thor? You know,
right.
Nothing against Hawkeye. I dig Hawkeye, but Thor maybe, or since Captain Marvel's coming out, Captain Marvel,
right,
or Photon. You know,
right.
I don't know. They could have. There was a lot they could have done, and I don't even know why they did those 4 instead of. You know,
I think my also issue with this is like it's fun, but I wish that we didn't go to space so quick. Like I feel like that there was more places around the world we could have done before heading to space.
Go to Wakanda.
Yeah, something like just something else where we get to meet more heroes, more villains. Because that's the one thing I liked about this game was no memorable villains other than Red Skull. Now they already broke the rules. They already put Juggernaut in there and everything like that. So like. All systems go. You can throw any villains you want on there, right?
I mean, the Sentinel, I'm sorry, giant robot.
Right, yeah. So like all gloves off now. So my question is for you, what villains do you like in the Marvel universe?
All right. So I mentioned, there's of course Doctor Doom. I got mad respect for him because he takes care of his people. He takes care of his country. But Apocalypse, and this is not because and
we're gonna go another round as we finish this list. Go ahead.
Apocalypse, because at the end of the day all he really wanted was for mutants to survive, to be strong enough to survive. Right. Granted, he was always doing really shady things, but he just wanted mutant kind to survive. God wants Avengers.
Nice.
And let's see. I think the third one is going to be Madeline Pryor.
Okay.
So, for those who don't know, back in the 80s, the X-Men and X Factor were in this crossover called Inferno. Basically, the long story short, Scott Summers thought Jean Grey was dead because of the whole Phoenix thing, and so he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna be depressed for a while. I'm gonna go on a whatever." So he ends up meeting this woman who looks, oh my gosh, she looks just like Jean, and she's redhead. She's a redhead. Oh, I love it. So he falls in love. He marries her like real fast, and they have a baby. Well, right. Then it turns out, Jean Grey's not dead. She's alive. So guy's like, oh my God, I have to go to her. And he leaves his wife. He leaves Madeline Pryor. He just ditches her and goes to join Jean and the original.
See, that's why no one likes Cyclops. You know what I mean?
Right? That was a douchey thing to do.
Yeah.
Yes. And they address that. What's great is that they address it in the comics. They're like, hey, whoa, why would you do that, man? So Madeline Pryor, it goes to some supernatural stuff too. Madeline Pryor ends up making this deal with some demons in limbo and et cetera, and next thing you know, she becomes the Goblin Queen. Okay. So I'm saying, but she has a reason. She's doing it because she's hurt. She was hurt.
Right. It's more of like a revenge.
Yes.
I want you to feel what I felt.
Exactly,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not to mention she's pissed at Jean. It's like, you were dead. You came back. You just stole my man.
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
So yeah,
I ain't mad at her. That's a movie. I'd be rooting for her. Like, Scott, you kind of deserve it, man.
Exactly.
That's why everybody was okay when he blew up in the third X-Men movie. That kiss. It was like, sorry, Scott.
Yeah. And what sucks is that they don't even acknowledge how cool Cyclops actually is.
Right, and that's why it pisses me off that his son from the future is a badass, and he's my favorite. Yeah. Like, great, my favorite character is somehow connected to someone I don't really like.
That's the son that he and Madeline Pryor have together.
Oh, so sad. They're good. Yeah.
And so without getting into weird science stuff, it turns out Madeline Pryor is a clone of Jean Grey.
Okay.
A genetic clone.
Okay.
Because Mr. Sinister, et cetera, wants the best genes.
Best
Cyclops,
genes for genes.
Yeah. And Jean Grey's got great genes, and Cyclops got great genes, and he's going to make an ultimate mutant. And yeah, so it would be good if they did it right, but this would have to be like another, not 10-year project, maybe a 5 or 6 year project of establishing the X-Men and all that stuff.
Okay.
Madeline Pryor, I understood why she was pissed.
Okay.
She was manipulated from the day she was born.
Okay. All right.
The day she was born.
All right.
Her whole life was a lie.
So here's my 3. Of course, Thanos. That already happened. But That was a character I root for. The funny thing is, I always been like, I think the Marvel superheroes are better than DC, but I think DC villains are a little bit more appealing than Marvel villains. So Thanos,
Rogues Gallery, yeah.
So Thanos to me was like Dark Side to DC, right? But Thanos is so awesome because like the more I learn about him, the more it's like this guy is insane. You know, and the fact when I first saw him come on the screen, I didn't think it was going to happen. I was like, no, this ain't going to last, because I saw him, you know, in teasers in the universe. I'm like, nah, this ain't going to happen. And then it happened. I'm like, this is awesome. But like just reading about it, that like he's one of the smaller titans of his family. You know, he is infatuated with death. You know.
Oh yeah, he's got a bad crush on her.
Right. It's just so he's just so fascinating to me. Number 2 would be Doctor Doom, of course. Doctor Doom, like you already kind of discussed what he had, but one dude, just out of anybody, I think he's the coolest looking character. Yeah. Just alone, he's just so cool looking.
And Iron Man was evil.
Right. And that's all I can say about it, right? Because you already said the rest that made him so cool. And then my last one will be Taskmaster. I like Taskmaster.
Okay, good choice.
I like Taskmaster.
Simple fact that he can just take people's powers.
Yeah, and this is the fact he's a sleeper agent. Like,
yes.
And to me, it's like, if he's not in the third Deadpool movie, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like he needs to be in there because he's basically almost like Deadpool, but like crazier.
Yes, he's. Well, I mean, he's crazier, but not fourth wall breaking crazy.
Yeah.
His loyalty's to money, I think.
Yes, but like you think like, how do I put this? Like, you think you're like 4 steps ahead of him? No, you're not.
Yeah.
Whatever you're thinking, he's already beyond that. And to see him in Deadpool, because the fact that like Deadpool can't die, he would just mess with him with that.
Exactly.
He would enjoy it. Like, okay, if you can't die, then I'm just going to keep messing with you.
And how can you plan for a person like Deadpool when Deadpool almost never has a plan?
Right. But no, Taskmaster, now I haven't gone too deep about him, but other than all his stuff that I've seen and the games he's been in and everything like that, one, he just looks freaking cool, and two, I just love the way he thinks.
Yes.
He's just very intelligent.
Yeah, and so comic book wise, and they kind of went into it with the Spider-Man PS4 game, but comic book wise, all he has to do is just observe how you fight, what you do, and he can mimic you almost exactly. I
almost wish that there should be a Deadpool game like this one, like this arcade game, and then Taskmaster's one of the choices, Colossus would be one of the choices,
right?
Maybe Juggernaut. I don't care. Like, I just want to see those two to get Cable. Like, there you go. For this arcade game, they made a Deadpool edition. It should be Deadpool, Taskmaster, Colossus, Cable, and then I don't care who the fifth person is.
Maybe they'll surprise us with Ultimate Alliance 3.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
They might, because Ultimate Alliance 2, they went Caligula crazy and just put all the heroes and villains in the game.
Right.
So I would do it. I would actually like to see that, especially Taskmaster.
Yes.
You know, maybe they could even have him take on the powers of whomever's in the party at the time.
Right.
So,
but with that, I think we can go ahead and just wrap this up. I want to thank for everybody for coming in and watching this second episode of our series, The Cabinet. And if you have any comments or anything like that, like, what's your favorite Marvel movie? What's your Marvel hero that you want to see in the movie? Who's your favorite villain? Leave a comment down below. We'll be happy to read about it and let you know our thoughts about it and everything like that. And, this show is part of the Endgame Boss program, a network of gaming and other variety shows. I have my own podcast show, the Endgame Boss podcast, followed by our other great shows like Game Halls of Rivalries and Bond Never Dies, and more on the way. But all you have to do is just follow and subscribe, and you'll be caught up with all our shows that are posted up, episodes, and everything like that. We love your support. Spread the word. Let us know how we're doing. We're doing good. We're doing bad. What arcade games would you like to see in here and everything like that? Anything you want to add?
If you don't, we will teach you the true meaning of justice.
Yeah. And we'll catch you on our next episode.